Just listen. I'm sorry what I did to Compton.
You are listening to
Fire emergency.
Please don't talk, just listen. I'm sorry I killed that girl.
Somebody took a shit in Walmart on the floor.
Oh. You took a picture of it?
I took a picture of it.
Welcome, guys, to another episode of the Grim Fix Podcast. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you for all those who have subscribed and followed, support and comment. Thank you very much. I am David, and I am here with my co-hosts JR and Charles in the
What's up, everyone?
building.
Hey.
So here we are for another week, a new month. We have started the month of February, the month of El Amor, or
I didn't notice that.
El Amor.
With the whole Casanova thing.
This is gonna be the month of breakups.
Why you say that?
A lot of guys tend to break up with the girls, so they won't have to give her anything for Valentine's Day.
Damn.
This is
That's harsh.
The month of El Amor, or the month, well, in the Hispanic culture, right? It's not really El Amor. Is the what is it? The Dia de la Amistad, right?
Yeah.
It's Valentine's. So that's the nice way of saying like Friendship Day, Valentine's. Even though we will do another show before Valentine's Day, but we have officially commenced month number 2. I felt like January lasted 3 months.
I felt it short.
Nah, man,
Me too.
I felt it kind of short.
So I feel like so much happened and nothing happened at the same time in January. I don't know. I feel like it was a long time ago when we for New Year's Eve, basically. But yeah, usually January feels like that. I just can't wait. I am excited for March to come around and the time to change. I really don't enjoy
March, 1 year older. That's what you're expecting.
No, I don't enjoy the whole like early nighttime. I don't enjoy the time difference with PR. It's just no, man. I like it when everything is the same. Like I'm like, oh, Charles, blah blah, and we'll be like, it's the same time zone. I don't know. It's just
ain't they working on that so that everything can go back to normal?
So supposedly they had said, I don't know if they're gonna follow through with it. Supposedly next year. Supposedly this is the last time this is gonna happen. Supposedly, right. I don't know. Supposedly, right, starting after the time changes back, we won't do this again next year. Even though, I mean, I think about it, right? If we move, okay, so when we change time again in March, our clocks go forward 1 hour, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right now, the sun is coming up at about, I want to say 6:45. I already start seeing daylight.
Where?
Here.
Not over here.
Well, you're way up north, like.
Yeah, it's freaking dark at 7 something. It's still dark.
No, well, here it's like that during December. And then January, it's already. So like right now, nightfall comes around 5:15-ish, right? Like 2 weeks ago, before 5, it was already nighttime.
Mm-hmm.
Earlier than that, like December, by 4:45, it was already night.
Right.
So now we're starting to see a little more daylight. So it's starting to sunrise a little bit earlier, and it's setting a little bit later. So what I'm thinking is if we leave the clock, right? Let's say like Puerto Rico time, that means that we wouldn't have daylight till like almost 8 o'clock in the morning. Like, think about it. If we put the clock forward right now, 1 hour, like I said, like 6:45, I could already see daylight. Not that the sun has risen, but I can already start to see daylight. That's the time I usually walk the dogs.
A little bit of the clear sky.
If I were to move my clock forward 1 hour, that means that wouldn't happen till like 7:45. I'll be at work by the time daylight comes.
That's crazy.
So I don't know, like, so that's why I was thinking. I was like, I don't know if it's just a Northeast thing, but it's not, because so like right now we are, yes, the whole United States. Because like right now, between California and New York is a 3-hour difference.
I thought it was 4.
No, it's 4 in Puerto Rico right now.
Yeah.
So it's only 3 for us. It's always going to be 3 for us. Just like I have friends in Alabama. I have friends in Texas. They're an hour behind us, and it always stays that way. So they change.
But
also.
yet,
So
that's the East Coast.
no, but that's what I'm saying. The West Coast also always stays at 3 hours from us. So
Yeah,
when we
exactly.
change,
So that
do them.
means East Coast will change, the middle will change, and the West Coast.
Everything changes. That's what I'm saying. Everything changes. The United States. Let's look for treasure. Yeah. Me. Like Beaker.
Yeah, that's why I was like, beep, 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 beep.
So yeah, so I'm assuming, right? I might sound dumb right now, but that's okay. I'm assuming, yes, the whole United States that changes that 1 hour. But yeah. So today's
Time is an illusion.
Yeah. What if what is it? What if we're all part of the Matrix? And this is
Do you
all
believe that?
No.
Do you truly believe that, or to some sort of point?
At moments I've given it thought. Like why do people think that? Like what if this is all simulation? Like people say. But no, I don't.
It's like these people, they be taking pictures or little videos of people just standing still, just like or whatever, repeating something, and they say it's the Matrix.
Acting like robots.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the shit with pictures nowadays is so easy to doctor pictures. That's exactly. 1. 2 is like it could be a simply glitch in the camera. It could be a reflection. It could be wrong lighting. It could be so many things. So I don't believe that. Just like the whole flat Earth thing, I don't believe that.
No.
Drugs are bad.
There's more than enough. There's more than enough proof that the world ain't flat.
Nah, man, I'm telling you, I've seen people that the world is flat. And I'm like, you sound ridiculous. But to each his own. Now, something that I do think about, that I've seen pictures, and of course, again, pictures can be doctored and whatnot. I think about time travelers. No, like I like think about it. Let's look at now. This whole AI shit is insane. I don't know if you guys have seen videos of how a regular person is speaking and the whole AI, like they can make it, like they did one with Morgan Freeman. I don't know if you guys saw that.
No, I haven't seen it.
The guy is a guy talking. Like the guy has AirPods on, and he's just talking into a camera. And they took that audio, and they put it with an AI of Morgan Freeman. Voice, everything. Everything is like, when you guys have a chance, Google it. The AI Morgan Freeman.
I am not Morgan Freeman, and what you see is not real. Well, at least in contemporary terms, it is not. What if I were to tell you that I am not even a human being? Would you believe me? What is your perception of reality?
It's insane. Like, it's Morgan Freeman. And if they don't tell you this is AI, you'll be like, oh shit, that's Morgan Freeman.
I haven't seen it. I've seen videos. I've seen videos of different robots that they have that they look so freaking real.
Yeah, man. But these Boston, what is it? Boston Dynamics, I think it's called.
Yeah.
That they're designing these robots. They just released one the other day that can actually throw things now. They have them that, they can shoot. Like, it's just insane. But aside from the robots, right? When you think about this whole AI shit, just think about the technology that's behind all this. So I choose to believe, I have no scientific background, understanding, proof. I have nothing. This is just me thinking out loud.
Wanting.
I choose to believe that at some point they will discover time travel. I again,
You know,
there's no scientific reasoning
okay,
behind this.
I saw a video, I think it's on Discovery, where this guy, Stephen Hawkins,
Mm,
literally proves time travel because he takes three boxes, large boxes with some sort of mechanism inside, but it's all to the T coordinated on time, like everything, every second on the three boxes. And they take them to different places. One is taken up high to the mountains, one is like taken to the valley, to different spots. And the one on the valley, which is the lowest, when they bring it to the top of the mountain, it has a time difference.
okay.
So that's how he proved it, but not like everyone is thinking. You know, you get on a machine, you travel time. No, but
Yeah.
he proved it that sort of way. I can't remember exactly. That's what like a while back.
So I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like, I believe that at some point, maybe it's very, very, very distant in the future, but if they do, obviously they will travel back. You're not only gonna. Everybody thinks, oh, we'll travel to the future. Yeah, most people are gonna want to go travel to the past
Yeah,
and see how it was and just
yeah, because
witness
it's gonna
it.
be in the future.
So being that now we're in the technology era right now. Like, technology has evolved in the last 20 years in a way that nobody ever expected it would be so quick. Like, you have people like Elon Musk, right? Elon Musk, everybody thinks of Elon Musk and they only think about Tesla and Twitter now. But this guy, like,
Twitter.
he has SpaceX, right? That they travel into space. He has I think it's called the Boring Company, something like that, where they're focusing on digging tunnels to travel super fast. Like, that's being worked on.
Wow, you keep digging underground and you're gonna be in major
So,
trouble.
but he's also he has a company called Neuralink. And Neuralink, they're using AI, they're using all this technology, and the idea behind it. I mean, this is an interview I saw about a year or two ago, so I don't know how advanced they are now. But when he was talking about it, the idea behind Neuralink was to create these. Let's say, paraphrasing here, I'm not an expert, but you guys can Google it and search it and find the real facts. This is just me talking. But he said that the idea behind it was to design these sort of like chips that they would implant into your brain, and it would connect those neurons and, I don't know, whatever makes your body work in your brain to fix damaged ones. So let's say, for example, a person that has a stroke, they lose movement on their right side, right?
Right.
Some of them have facial paralysis, and some of them never recoup from that. Some of them just never recoup their speech. Some of them, like, they can't move an arm or they can't walk. So with that technology, they can implant it in a person's brain and reconnect all that wiring in their body to give them that movement back. But I mean, think about it, like shit like that, right? So it's just a matter of time. I mean, obviously, this hasn't been approved. This is still being tested, and it'll probably be, a few years longer on the way. But they're already on a path to basically, like, make people into like cyborgs. Like, no, because think about it.
Really
You can start that
Terminator.
exactly. Like, you can see it that way, but then, like, in the future, we already have people with mechanical arms and mechanical legs and mechanical hands.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Like, so
Freaking awesome.
it's not gonna stop there. I mean, they're already talking about. There's a show on Amazon Prime called Upload. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it.
No.
So the show Upload is further in the future. I don't remember what year. It's further in the future where they designed technology where you can upload all your memories all your thoughts, everything that's in your
To the
brain.
cloud.
So when a person, yeah, exactly. So when a person dies, they have that, and then you're able to live in this like digital world, and the people, the living people, can actually access, like, let's say through a screen, they can see you and talk to you and whatnot, and then you have to, like, obviously it's for people with money, is you have to pay for certain privileges and the food you eat. And
You're poor, you're screwed. You got money, you get to live.
But the way they talk about it, I mean, you look at it and you're like, oh shit. But the truth is, I truly don't think we're that far off from breaking into shit like that. Again, this is just me thinking out loud. So back to time travelers, I believe that at some point in the future, maybe it could be maybe after we're long gone. But the truth is, if it's invented in the far future, who knows if we have time travelers among us like today?
Yeah, I've seen a couple of videos.
Anything is possible.
You seen those videos where somebody pops out of nowhere?
Well, yeah, there's videos like that, but they also have like there's documents. Like, you guys ever heard of Greta Thunberg?
That sounds familiar.
Yeah.
So Greta Thunberg is that, what is this? She's Swedish or some shit like that. She's like a super Greenpeace against hurting of the earth. She's an earth protector, activist.
She's a tree hugger.
So she there's actually documentation of pictures from the past where there's a person that's looks exactly like her. I'm talking about exactly like her.
It's crazy.
So I don't know. Anyway, let's jump into today's case before we get in trouble with the listeners and viewers about our beginning conversations being a little too long. So today's case, we're talking about a handsome fellow, apparently. I mean, I don't see the handsome, but...
Well, ladies like them, so there's got to be
Listen,
something
to
there.
be honest, in 2023, I got to say this. For the first time, I can say, like, I feel comfortable enough in myself where I can say, it's a handsome man. I'm serious. No.
I'm not saying nothing otherwise. I totally get it, yo. I totally get it.
We grow up with that mentality that you can't say things like that, and
I get it. I'm not saying it just sounds weird.
No, it is weird. It's still weird to me, but I actually feel comfortable enough in myself, right? Where I can actually, and I'm telling you, this is something I learned recently in like the last year or two. I'm like, you know what? I can actually say, like, it's a handsome man there.
Okay.
You know, I'm not going to say that's a hot man. It's
just a description.
Think about it this way. It's easier to say handsome. Now, what about if you would say, damn, that guy is cute?
No.
I'm
not going to say cute. I'm not going to say pretty. No. I'm not going to say this guy is hot. but I can. And again, I know it's the way I grew up. You couldn't say a man was handsome.
That comfortable to say that.
Handsome is a masculine adjective.
I feel like Charles says, it's a what is a masculine adjective?
Masculine.
It's a description, right? I feel like when you say hot or cute, it's more based on opinion.
True.
Yes.
Right?
True.
So anyway,
but
this guy,
handsome is opinion.
Well, I guess beauty's in the eye of the beholder, but
yeah,
it's more
you see
of like
a girl
a description,
and you won't say
you know?
she's a beautiful woman.
Well, that's why there's a difference.
Girl.
You can say a beautiful woman, it's more respectful, right?
Right.
Or you can say she's hot or whatever, but that's why with a man, I can say the respectful way, the non-feeling like description is like, it's a handsome man.
Still feels weird.
But whatever I'm saying, I know that. I mean,
no, obviously,
I know that. What is it? The culture, even though that's changing.
Yeah.
But the culture, let's say, like in PR, it's very rare for another man to say, "It's a handsome man there."
dude, aquí te dicen, papi, mi rey, whatever, esa cultura
I
de caso
hate
de...
no. I hate
Yeah.
when they're like, "Oh, mi amor, mi rey." No, stop it. No, that I'm not doing that. But no, but yeah, the whole
He's not seeing you. He's just waving. Because,
the
he's
whole
off camera.
just calling a man handsome. It's whatever. Anyway,
Well, he's still. This guy is
this
not
guy
handsome.
is not handsome, in my opinion. Right? This is not a description, even though according to what I've read so far, they find them handsome. So today we will be talking about John. Okay, so it's just Paul John Knowles. But then they shortened it here as just John Knowles. But yeah, Paul John Knowles, aka the Casanova Killer.
Casanova.
Right? Today we will be reading from allthatisinteresting.com. Yeah, these people should like sponsor our podcast, man. We use a lot of their articles. But yeah, we will be reading an article written by Katie Serena, which was published on May 29, 2018. And then it was updated on January 30th, 2019. But yeah, we will be reading. If you are interested in reading the article, the full article, you can check in the show notes. Or if you are watching us on YouTube, you can check on the video description. We will have the article there so that you can check it out. So, this guy, apparently, he is known for his good looks, right? Paul John Knowles was described as a cross between Robert Redford and Ryan O'Neal. So he's already, this guy's already 81. And Robert Redford, is he still alive? Oh, he is.
He is?
Yeah, he's 86.
Damn.
86 and 81. All right.
Is he still handsome?
He is not. He's not handsome.
Maybe to an 80-year-old woman.
Yeah, I guess. Speaking of 80-year-old woman, you saw that Shirley died from Laverne and Shirley.
Yeah, I heard.
All right, so yeah, Paul John Knowles,
the Casanova Papi. The title says the horrifying crime spree of Paul John Knowles, the Casanova Killer. It says, known for his good looks, Paul John Knowles was described as a cross between Robert Redford and Ryan O'Neal. To some women who met him, Paul John Knowles was smooth and charismatic, a cross between Robert Redford and Ryan O'Neal. To others, he was their worst nightmare, a cold-blooded killer with no pattern and no regard for anyone but himself. That's why I called him the careless man. Yeah, I call him the careless James Dean.
There you go. You heard it here first. PM.
Yeah, because that James Dean was back then. He was like the cutie. He was the hottie for women.
He was a handsome fellow.
This guy was just like careless, left and right. For decades, Knowles traversed the country, racking up a slew of criminal charges, including kidnapping and theft. Then, in 1974, he escalated and added murder to his increasingly long list of crimes. So he was just a petty thief.
Yeah,
that was a big jump.
He started
from
with
petty
the,
thief to mass murder. Paul John Knowles before the murders. In the 19 short years between 1946 and 1965, Paul John Knowles had made quite the name for himself among the police. Beginning in 1954, when he was just 8 years old, Knowles had set out on a life of crime, mostly consisting of petty theft. By the time he was 19, he escalated to kidnapping and was incarcerated for kidnapping he's got balls, man. Balls. He kidnapped a police officer. You ballsy, man. You gotta give it to him. He's ballsy to kidnap a cop.
No, I'm just thinking about Chief Wiggum or something. Like, man, like
how do you? Yeah, how do you? Yeah.
Oh.
Was soon to let go. However, starting a pattern he stick to for the next 8 years. Short stints in jail, followed by a return to petty crime, followed again by a short stint in jail. This guy's
that's
slick.
usually the pattern. That's what we're seeing a lot of here in New York now with this whole jail reform. What is it? Bail reform, where they, if it's not a violent crime, you basically walk out the next day.
Yeah,
So
they'll
it's
just
like-
slap you on the wrist and go
It
home.
becomes a revolving door. They go in, they tell you, don't do that. They send you home again. And a few days later, you're back in jail again. And that's the cycle.
That just makes me think, like, that when you speak to a child, you gotta get down to their level,
Yeah.
and then you either put your arm on their shoulder and you talk to them calmly. That's what I see. I think the cops be doing. They just kneel, talk to him at a level, and go home.
Don't do that again.
Don't do it again. You promise you're not gonna do it? Pinky
Here's a
swear.
Metro card.
Pinky swear.
Here's a Metro card and some Yankee
Here's $5 and a
tickets.
smile.
Go. All right.
Okay. In early 1974, Knowles was serving a prison sentence in the Rayford prison in Florida, now known as the Florida State Prison. While incarcerated, he began corresponding with a California woman named Angela Kovic.
I always wonder
through the same
how...
columns that giggling granny used.
No. But I always think
the
about
Lonely
that,
Hearts
like
Club.
pen pals. I'm wondering if it's you just write, let's say, to the whatever Florida State Prison, and then you put the name of
Whoever answers.
handsome
Whoever
guy,
answers.
whatever. Like, no, not whoever answers. I think you can write specifically to like this guy. What the fuck is his name again? John Knowles, John Knowles. So let's say if I write a letter, Paul John Knowles, to the Florida State Prison, I wonder if that's all you need to just get in contact with these people.
But okay, this chick, he's in Florida, and this chick is from California. How the hell does she know who he is? It's like it was random. Oh, let me go right to Paul John. How does she know he's there? How did they even connect? Excuse me.
Well, maybe while he was serving prison, maybe he was already known for
his smooth,
crimes,
charismatic.
for his crimes. It's like, Dahmer. Dahmer was one that got a shitload of like mail.
Yeah.
But it was like petty stuff.
But in 1974, he had already killed. We're already, in 1974, he escalated and added murder to his increasingly long list of crimes. So in 1974. I don't know. Yeah.
That's why. Now, see, I get it when, let's say, if he's on the newspapers and he has a lot of, let's say, murders on his list, then he's going to be known.
Yeah, but it's not a local thing.
Huh? Exactly.
It's not a local thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anywho, Kovic, recently divorced cocktail waitress from San Francisco, was delighted to have Knowles as a pen pal, and after just a few letters back and forth, had fallen in love with him. Before long, she hired him a lawyer who managed to swing him a parole and arranged for him to fly to San Francisco to marry her. That was jumping.
See, that's the part that I don't understand. That these women that fall in love with these criminals, mine is a criminal you don't know personally. You're writing.
It's just some random.
Think about it. If it's a criminal that's in jail, they're in jail for a reason. Again, I'm still assuming here that he was already known for some murders.
True, but that means this chick likes the bad boy type.
Yeah, but it's just.
How are you gonna fall in love with someone in jail, knowing what he did? That means you like that.
See, but my point is, like, how do you fall in love with just letters? You're not even talking to this. Again, they could have talked maybe over the phone, but it's just hard for me to. So, like, again, I'm not saying it's impossible because obviously it happens.
Yeah,
and this is the first, and this
he
ain't the
doesn't
last
have
case.
a way with words. He has a way with words.
Selma
That's the only
married
thing that
Sideshow
can be
Bob.
seen. What happened?
Selma married Sideshow Bob.
No, but in real life, this has happened like a lot.
Yeah.
Like it's happened a lot where these women fall in love with these criminals that are, and some of them fall in love with these people that are in jail for life, that they're not coming out, and they want to marry them, and they'll go do a whole ceremony in jail and everything. Oh, what? Anyway.
Anyway, there's a picture of him right there. Like it says Paul John Knowles smoking a cigarette in a photo taken before he was arrested. He looks calm.
This guy, cool guy right there.
That looks like
cool
a
cat.
picture from a magazine. To be honest.
Yeah.
Looks from a magazine.
True. Marlboro I got it
Ad.
tip of my tongue. Ad. Oh my God. However, upon seeing Knowles, COVID called off the wedding. According to her, Knowles projected an aura of fear that scared her. In addition to his aura, her psychic had recently warned her about a dangerous new man in her life. The aura combined with the warning was enough for COVID to send Knowles packing. So she wasted a whole lot of money just to sell him fuck
That's
off.
what I'm saying. This is so stupid. Like,
it's ironic because she knew where he was, where he was from, where he's at. She kept writing. She fell in love.
And what he did.
And she hires a lawyer.
What are you going to
gets him
expect?
out, flies him home, and to come up and say, no, you give me, you give me that.
You give me bad vibes.
Yeah, you give me bad vibes, bro. Like,
a psychic, babble or not, in the end, Kovic was lucky she took her psychic's advice and paid attention to Knowles' aura. That night, after Kovic ended their engagement, Knowles murdered 3 strangers on the streets of San Francisco. The next day, he arrived back in Jacksonville, Florida, where he pulled a knife on a bartender during a fight. He was arrested for the bar fight and thrown back in jail, but he didn't stay there for long. On July 26, 1974...
I'm just still stuck on the whole,
What?
you fall in love with a person you don't know, you pay for a lawyer, you send for them, a psychic tells you whatever bad news, and you have to wait till you see this person to be like, I'm getting a bad vibe. Maybe this might not be a good idea. Like I'm like just still stuck on that because I just picture it like
maybe he wasn't that handsome as everybody says.
But it's just insane to me. Like you have to see this person to be like, maybe this is not such a great idea. Like, wow, man. But it just tells you how gullible people are.
True.
You know, when smooth talker.
When I see these crimes,
Papi Chulo.
Sometimes when I see these crimes that you see people with these like long ass rap sheets, right? There's always a girl that wants the bad boy type. They end up falling in love with these people. Some of them already have kids. And then they decide, maybe it's a good idea for me to leave my kids here alone while I go out and leave them with this person. And then they're shocked when all of a sudden the kid gets kidnapped or killed or raped.
Yep.
Common sense is just not common.
On July 26, 1974, Paul John Knowles picked the lock on his prison cell and escaped into the night.
That is some Carmen Sandiego shit right there.
That's some cartoon shit right there. The
guy is that good. Pick a lock.
How do you do that?
And escape.
How?
No, that says way more about wherever he was incarcerated than him.
I'm telling you, Chief Wiggum.
I'm not gonna say a word. Yeah.
Chief Wiggum, and who's the other two?
Jeez, man.
Eddie and Lou.
Yeah. 3 cops for a whole prison.
Like, yeah, you definitely have to have like a Chief Wiggum in charge.
Yeah.
Yeesh.
They get a big old sandwich. He'll focus on the sandwich. You just leave.
All right.
Okay, the Casanova murders. 65-year-old Alice Curtis was Paul John Knowles' first victim. The retired school teacher from Jacksonville was home alone the night that Knowles escaped from jail. Dun, dun.
So I'm trying to put this together, right? A timeline. So this is July 1974, right?
Correct.
Earlier in the article, it says that in 1974, he was serving in Florida. Around he began serving California woman. So this is all in 1974.
Yeah.
He met this pen pal lady, and
Remember, he first went. He did time for petty theft. The lady from COVID paid for the lawyer, got him out. They gave him parole. He flew to California. Got pissed off because the chick didn't want anything to do with him. Killed 3 people. Went back to Jacksonville. Then he did time. He was doing time for pulling out a knife on a bartender.
No. I totally understand that. I'm just saying. So 1974 is when he escalated in adding murder.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he already killed 3 people at that time.
That 3,
He already had 3 under his belt.
But that's my point, because it says that this lady, Alice Curtis,
my guess
is first victim.
Yeah, my guess is his first victim after he killed those 3
first
people.
Known victim.
No.
Okay, let's just keep reading and then see. Okay.
That's his first known victim. In an attempt to burgle her home, Knowles broke in and bound and gagged her. Her cause of death was later determined to be choking.
Shocking.
I didn't want to read it that way. Come on. Choking on her own dentures. And while it's unclear whether her death occurred while Knowles was in her home, there's no doubt he was to blame. So it don't matter, him being there or not. It was his fault, yet it wasn't intentional.
She choked on her teeth.
I've seen it. He just gagged her, so he didn't know she had false teeth.
Right.
Knowles fled the home in Curtis's car. A few hours later, as he drove up the street looking for a place to abandon the stolen vehicle, he came across 2 young girls, Lillian and Millette Anderson. Recognizing them as a family acquaintances, he quickly realized they too could recognize him. Instead of abandoning Curtis's car, he kidnapped the 11-year-old Lillian and her 7-year-old sister, strangled them, and dumped their bodies in a swamp.
Man.
See, why he had to go there?
Harsh.
So family acquaintances, I'm assuming this is... So this is Jacksonville. He's from Jacksonville. So basically he's in his hometown.
Mm-hmm.
So family acquaintances, I'm assuming, his family acquaintances, like they would know him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Over the next 2 months, Knowles traveled from Florida up the East Coast to Connecticut, leaving a trail of bodies in his wake. Later dubbed the Casanova murders, for Knowles' good looks, the police remained largely in the dark about Knowles' part in the murders until his capture. For most of the spree, the police were baffled by the murders, as they seemed to have no rhyme or reason behind them. It appeared there was no pattern between any of the cases or even any of the victims. See,
so this guy was basically all over the place.
All over the place.
Yeah.
He didn't give a shit. He was just like left and right.
There was no MO so far for what I'm getting, there was no real MO. Like he was just
a good-looking dude. He just felt like killing.
Yeah, he was just killing people. Like, so he kills this first lady. It doesn't say. Well, it says in one attempt he was to rob her home, basically.
Yeah, that's why I said I don't think he wanted to kill her. He just gagged her, and coincidentally, her teeth went to the back. Her false teeth went to the back and choked her.
But hey, let's just say like she was surprised and she was like, and like.
Yeah, but did he not mean to murder her? I mean, the fact that you leave this house in the stolen car.
And you killed the 2 kids.
you killed 2 kids. Like,
yeah.
I think I
Yeah,
would
but he
rather
killed two
kill the
kids
old
after.
lady.
He kills two
Yeah,
kids
but it was
after.
yeah,
He
it
was
was
just taking
immediately
shit from
after.
her house. You
But,
know? No, of course, he don't give a crap. If she died or not, he wouldn't give a shit. But I'm assuming he just tied her up, gagged her, and he started going through her shit, taking whatever's valuable. And
Yeah, but I think he
evidently,
went inside with the intention to kill her.
He went
I think,
inside.
yeah, with the intention of killing her. I mean, he didn't care about the two kids. Like,
So that means he just lucked out on that one. He didn't have to do much.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right,
let's go. Of the 20 people found dead.
Okay. Of the 20 people found dead, 14 were women and 6 were men. 3 were children and 3 were elderly. Some were shot, some were strangled, some were burgled, and others seem to have been killed as an afterthought, murdered while camping or while walking up the street. Some of the corpses had been sexually assaulted, while some of the victims had been raped while alive, further throwing police off the trail. So he didn't.
Yeah, because this guy was he's like 5 different serial killers in one.
I wonder if he had
he doesn't have a clear pattern.
Split personality.
No, I'm just when I see things like this, I think about, is this person that smart that they do this intentionally,
or just
not
careless,
following a pattern, right? Like, let me just, if you're really hell bent on committing crime, let's say, and I made the decision today, I want to kill people. I always think about that when I see this, because I think about, are you planning it this way? Are you intentionally saying like, okay, I killed these people this way, I think I'm gonna do it this other way, so like that I won't leave traces? Or you're just simply a sloppy killer where you just
I'm going
you're
with
not thinking 2 things through.
Yeah, because
I'm going with number
he's
2.
A
he had the good looks.
He's a narcissist, and he's not gonna think about it.
Exactly.
Oh, I'm gonna do it this way. I don't want to get caught. Like, no, he's not thinking about that. He's just
like
yeah.
No. He didn't go, I'm not gonna, He was like, I'm surely not gonna get caught. He just went careless. He just didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Or that's the way I see a genius where he's like, I'm gonna throw these motherfuckers off.
Nah, he's no genius.
He's too narcissist for that.
He's no. His ego was like way too high. He just didn't give a shit. Okay. The victims were also killed in at least 6 different states, making it almost impossible for police to create a perimeter. At that point, police didn't know whether they were looking for a rapist, a murderer, an armed gunman, an opportunist, or worse, all of the above.
See, so I'm saying, what if he's such a narcissist that he was like, these motherfuckers are not gonna catch me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this way. I'm gonna throw them off. I have it all figured out. If I kill this person this way, I'm gonna kill this other person this way. I'm gonna rape this one alive, then I'm gonna rape this one while they're dead.
No, I don't see it. I can't see it that way either. I see it just a sloppy way to do shit.
Yeah.
Because then he would have never gotten caught. He would have never gotten caught. That's the way I see. Well, that's my opinion. So
yeah, mine as well.
But even though the way he gets caught is like fucked up.
All right, let's find out how he gets caught.
The only real lead that authorities had to go on was from a reporter named Sandy Fox. About 2 weeks before About 2 weeks before Knowles was ultimately arrested, he attempted to pick up Fox in a hotel bar. For 3 days, Fox traveled around with Knowles, booze-filled and blissfully unaware that she was fraternizing with the man at the center of a multi-state manhood. According to Fox, Knowles was a dreamboat. It was she who first described him as Redford-like in appearance. Years later, after realizing how close she had come to become one of his victims, however, As close as she was, she truly didn't realize it. Not once during their 3-day bender did he show signs of wanting to hurt her. She claimed, and after the two parted ways, Fox thought she'd remember her time fondly. So she had good memories.
Good time with him.
Most people believe the reason Knowles let Fox go was that he wanted the fame, at least in part, a theory corroborated by the survival of Barbara Tucker, another writer who escaped his wrath. Perhaps he felt the writers would immortalize him, and that if they told his story, he could go on in a blaze of glory rather than the criminal's ending he got. So see, he is a narcissist.
He's a narcissist.
His ego was like,
so
way
he
up
was
there.
doing it because he wanted to be famous.
Well, yeah, a lot of them do that. They tend to do that. They want to be known. They want to be a legend.
Notorious.
Say what?
So that first lady
Notorious.
was Fox. She
Yeah,
was a
Sandy
reporter,
Fox
and
was a
this one
reporter.
was a writer.
But
Okay.
Barbara Tucker, she was on the radio. They didn't say that here. But like I
Okay.
said, he let them go because they knew that they were going to talk about him one way or another. In one of the articles, he
Yeah.
does say that he did ask her, "Would you write about me?"
He told the
Okay.
writer.
Huh?
He told the writer that.
He told the reporter, Sandy Fox, when they were when they're having that special time together. He did.
So that's why.
actually-
So that's why he
here-
didn't kill her.
So
Yeah, but
so
I'm
the-
assuming he didn't kill her because he knew that she was going to write about it and make him immortal. You know?
So basically,
But,
he targeted these women for their careers, basically, for what they did or what they could do for him.
No, I think he just targeted them and got lucky and didn't do anything, knowing that they'll probably make him like more known.
But what I'm
And-
not getting is that he leave her alive because he wanted them to write about him, right?
Exactly. That's the way I'm seeing it.
But I'm
Did
guessing
he
that
reveal?
time exactly. That's where I'm going. Like, and those 3 days, like, did he
No,
say
no.
like, "Hey, I'm a killer. I'm killing"?
No,
like,
I don't think he revealed it. He just
so
randomly said it because he knew that once she knows whatever he's done, she's gonna be shocked. So maybe
so he revealed who he was, and that's it.
I don't think so. I don't think he revealed who he was. Okay, a vicious arrest. On November 17, a Florida highway patrol trooper named Charles Eugene Campbell recognized a car matching the description of one stolen from the most recent murder victim. He pulled the car over, never knowing he had just cornered a cunning and skilled mass murderer. If he only knew.
He only knew.
Paul John Knowles, however, was ready. As the trooper leaned over to see into the car, Knowles wrestled his gun away from him. After taking Campbell hostage, he took off in Campbell's patrol car and pulled over another car. Damn! He
Fucking
literally used the freaking car, the police car, to stop someone else.
That's some GTA stuff right there.
Oh my god.
Okay, then he took that driver prisoner, but put him and Campbell both in less conspicuous vehicle and drove the three of them to a remote area. He then led the two men into the woods, tied them to a tree, and shot them. As he attempted to escape the scene of the crime, he lost control of his vehicle and hit a tree. Though he took off on foot and was pursued by dogs, officers, and helicopters, he ultimately made it out of the perimeter established for the manhunt. However, thanks to a local man and his shotgun, Knowles was able to be apprehended. Once arrested, he confessed to 35 murders, including the 20 that police were already aware of. Over the next month, police attempted to take Knowles on a tour of his crime scenes to gain insight into the crimes and help find missing bodies. On December 18, just a month after his arrest, Sheriff Earl Lee and Georgia Bureau of Investigation, that's like the FBI, but from Georgia, I guess, the GBI.
Yeah, the Georgia Bureau
an
of
agent-
Investigation.
Huh? Exactly. It's like the
Yeah.
FBI from Georgia.
Yeah.
Agent Ronnie Angel were transporting Knowles to Henry County, where Charles Campbell's handgun had allegedly been dumped. While en route, Knowles jumped Lee in the car, attempting to steal his handgun. The gun went off through the holster in the car, and as Lee and Knowles struggled, Angel fired 3 shots at Knowles, killing him instantly. And the tumultuous life of Paul John Knowles ended as viciously as he lived it. The motives behind his murders had never been disclosed, and even today, some of the victims remain a mystery as well.
So
That
And
reminds
then-
me of those scenes in the movies where two people are struggling and you lo ves así cara a cara and they go like pa pa. You don't
bah!
know who's
and
dead.
you don't know
and
who
you
it
go
is.
like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but damn, the holster, he didn't get to even pull it out.
Man, this guy's a savage.
Yeah, but they cut out a lot of stuff in this one.
Wow.
That's
like I
crazy.
didn't know that he gets
Sloppy-
killed on the.
sloppy murder.
And then you never know why he did it.
Yeah.
No, you can hear his confession. They got a actually tape of him confessing.
If I had to live over again, I wouldn't. You wouldn't do what? I wouldn't do it again. It's been that bad. There's no way I'd go through another year of it. I fully intended to be shot before I was arrested. What's the worst thing that ever happened to you in your life? Worst? I was born. You sure? You mean from the time you're born, you've been that bad against life? Well, I look at it like this. I was a hell of a lot better off before I was born than I am. Or have been since I was born.
But the motive behind it, did he say why he did it?
No. But he says that he felt lonely. In one of the confessions, like he felt lonely at times, that his family loved him, but they didn't they didn't pay mind to him. That they pushed him aside. That they loved him, but they didn't care for him. That's the word he says.
So he felt
And that's the
neglected.
reason behind his killing.
Sort of. That's
Because
what he gave.
He's such a narcissist that his family didn't pay attention to him.
Yeah. Basically, that's what he did.
Yeah, I think that's the best word that describes this guy, like a super mega narcissist.
He knew he was hot.
Was
he knew? No, wait up. Let me rephrase that. He knew he was handsome.
Handsome.
It's just, I don't know. I feel like I'm not satisfied with this. It's either the article or the story, but
it's the article, man. It's the article.
I feel like I'm not satisfied. I feel like we didn't get enough anything. Like it skimmed through the details. You're telling me there were 35 murders according to him, right? The police knew about 20 of them. But were they all in Florida? No, because he said that he traveled up to Connecticut. So from Florida to Connecticut, that's a drive. That's
a mission.
That's a long ass drive. So you have a bunch of places where you can stop and do your nonsense. But I don't know, man. I'm not
Go to MaryHallbergsMedia.com. The title says he's worse than Ted Bundy.
Sí, que Ted Bundy era otro bonitillo.
Sí. But okay, the way Ted Bundy killed is nothing compared to what he did. And this was updated on November 13, 2021.
Let me see. So this is written by Mary Hallberg.
Correct.
Apparently it's a YouTuber and an author of all things dark. Apparently that's another website. So I'm going to have to put this in the show notes also. Let me skim through this, right? Yeah, so Paul John Knowles, he was born on April 25, 1946 in Orlando, Florida. into a family that would ultimately include 7 people in 3 rooms. See, this starts giving me a little more insight.
Yeah, this is the one I thought we were gonna use, but
So Knowles would say in a later interview that there was a lack of caring in his family and that the worst thing to happen to him was just being born. Oh, woe is me. According to Knowles' brother Clifton, there was a physical abuse. You see, this is another important thing. There was a physical abuse in the family, and if the family had been around today, all the children would have been taken away. And Paul John Knowles did spend some of his youth in foster care. See, these are all important. This is a good article, Mary Hallberg. Very good. Okay, so let's continue here. Knowles was arrested for the first time in 1965 when he was 18 or 19. He kidnapped a police officer who stopped him after a traffic violation. After this, he drifted around a lot and was frequently in and out of jail, mostly for theft. In 1972, while in jail, yet again, he met Angela Kovic. Okay, so we heard about this. It says that they were planning on getting married until Angela called the whole relationship off a few years later. So they were on a relationship for a few years.
Yep.
When the two met in prison, Knowles had gone to Angela's home state of California to finally meet up. But upon seeing him, she claimed that he had an aura of fear. She put him on a plane back. So she sent his ass back.
Yep.
She put him on a plane back
Hit
to
the
his
road,
native
Jack.
Florida
Don't
and started working on repairing her marriage. Oh, see? So after his breakup with Angela Kovic, Knowles was once again arrested in Florida after stabbing a bartender. He was sent back to jail, but on July 26, 74, he escaped. This escape would start the crime spree he is best known for. Okay, so now we jump to 1974. This was all in July 1974. Okay. So Knowles' first known murder victim, was a 65-year-old retired school teacher named Alice Curtis. In the night he escaped, he entered her home, tied her up, and went through her things. She ended up choking. See, so I'm guessing maybe they wrote it.
We're the one who are wrong.
But I've written choking, and that's not how it comes. I don't know. Maybe we're wrong. So it is choking. Anyway, so that for her own dentures. Before leaving, Knowles stole some money from her as well as her car. He drove the stolen car for a few days. You see, this is a much better article. This makes much more sense. So he drove a few days before realizing he had to ditch it because the police were looking for both of them. Alice Curtis's body was found the next morning by her son. There were no prints found at the scene. And his spree continue. Let's talk about his other known victims in the summer and fall of 1974. There are others that are unconfirmed or suspected, but we'll talk about those later. This is the person who's writing the article saying this, not me, just in case.
Yeah.
So on August 2,
they actually have a lot of pictures here.
Yeah. On August 2, Knowles entered the apartment of 49-year-old Marjorie Howe in Atlantic Beach, Florida. It's not clear if he broke in or if she, for whatever reason, invited him in. He strangled her with a pair of her stockings and stole her TV. On August 23, Knowles broke into the home of Kathy Sue Pierce, where she lived with her 3-year-old son. Kathy was strangled with a telephone cord. Her son was left unharmed. September 3rd, Knowles met 32-year-old William Bates in a hotel bar in Lima, Ohio.
Bates Hotel.
The two left the bar together. William's wife reported him missing soon after, and his car was missing as well. William's car was soon found at a hotel, and his body was found in October. Wow, so a month later, basically. He had been stripped naked, strangled, and dumped in the nearby woods. Knowles ended up driving William's car to California.
See, this, I believe he was driving to California to get back at this girl.
Could be.
Think so?
That I truly think that, but I don't know. There's a twist later on.
September 18, campers Emmett and Lois Johnson are killed in Ely, Nevada. Knowles also steals their credit cards and uses them for a while. September 21. Knowles had traveled all the way to Texas at this point, where he raped and murdered a stranded motorist, 42-year-old Charlene Hicks. He dragged her body through a barbed wire fence, and I believe it was later found in a field.
Damn.
This is also the writer stating this. September 23rd, Knowles meets 49-year-old beautician Ann Dawson in Birmingham, Alabama. They travel together for a few days, and she's never seen or heard from again after this. Her body has never been found, but Knowles reportedly later confessed to killing her and dumping her body in the Mississippi River. October 16, Knowles made his way up to Connecticut, where he tied up, raped, and strangled Karen Wine and her daughter, Dawn, in the town of Marlborough. He also stole a tape recorder from them. He was still driving William Bates' car at this point. October 18 or 19, Knowles knocked on the door of 53-year-old Doris Harvey in Woodford, Virginia. When she answered, he went inside, somehow managed to get his hands on her husband's shotgun and shot her, but then removed his fingerprints from the gun.
You smart.
Wasn't that dumb after all?
No, he wasn't.
After this murder, he made his way down to Florida. Wow, this fucking guy was on the ultimate tour. After this murder,
he was just on a killing spree.
He made his way back down to Florida and either picked up or kidnapped a couple in Key West. He was later stopped for a traffic violation, and after this, let the couple go. After this, he went to see his lawyer, Sheldon Yavitz, who suggested that he surrender, but Knowles refused. He knew his capture was inevitable, and due to his crimes so far, he figured he would probably be executed. Apparently, he wanted to go out fighting. And he didn't slow down after this. One of his most talked about and gruesome murders occurred in November 7, 1974 in Milledgeville, Georgia.
Milledgeville.
During the night, Knowles broke into the home of Carswell Carr, who was home with his 15-year-old daughter, Mandy. Carr's wife was out of the house at the time working a night shift. Now, retired investigating officer James Josie, who worked on the Carr murders, said it was the bloodiest crime scene he'd ever seen. Carr had been stripped naked and stabbed between 25 and 27 times.
Why is he stripping down the guys naked?
And even ended up bleeding through the mattress. However, it's not clear if his death was a result of the stab wounds or a heart attack. All right, let's stop it. Mandy Carr was strangled with a pair of stockings, and another pair was found stuffed in her mouth. Both had their hands tied behind their backs. So there's a pattern there. Right? The other guy, they also found them stripped naked.
Yeah.
Strangled. This one also, even though this one he stabbed them.
But he's stripping down the guys. They don't say about the girls.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe he liked to see their pee-pee before they, I don't know.
Or he's comparing.
The inside of the house was a mess. Books, mirrors, photographs, and even furniture had been thrown around. A lot of things were also missing from the home, including most of the Carswell's clothes, credit cards, his briefcase, shaving kit, keys, and a watch and a clock that belonged to Mandy. Carswell Carr's wife found the scene the next morning when she got home from work. An exact time of death couldn't be determined. It was only known that the murders happened sometime during the night when she was gone. Shortly after the murders, a cashier at a store reported that a young man had bought a tape recorder and blank tapes with stolen credit cards. These cards were later confirmed to belong to Carswell Carr. So I'm thinking, why this is the second tape recorder he gets, because the other one he stole one. I wonder maybe that confession was something that he was just recording to leave behind.
No, he did. That's how he did the confession, and he sent it to. I'm not sure if it was his lawyer.
See, I cracked the case. Okay, in early November, just after the Carr murders, Knowles was in a hotel bar in Atlanta, Georgia, where he met reporter Sandy Fox. He introduced himself to her as Darrow Golden. Fox described him as a dreamboat and a cross between Robert Redford and Ryan O'Neal. Their meeting sparked a 3-day fling. He gave her the watch that had belonged to Mandy Carr, and the pair even drove to Miami together, a distance of over 600 miles.
So they
During
had
their
a nice
brief
time.
together, he asked her if she'd ever consider writing a book about him. The idea seemed crazy to her at the time. I assume because they'd only known each other for a couple of days. He also told her he thought he was going to die within a year because of something, quote unquote, he'd done. He said the things he'd done would make international news, though he didn't specify what they were. When the news about the Carswell murders came out, she saw him clipping a newspaper article about it, and he told her he had friends in the area. After he and Sandy Fox parted ways, he became friendly with a couple she knew. He allegedly tried to rape the woman who went to police, but Knowles once again escaped before anything could be done about this.
And that's the book that she wrote.
Yeah, so she did write a book called Natural Born Killer.
I was
In
actually
Love
looking. I was
Road to
comparing it with the
Silicon.
movie Natural Born Killers,
Yeah.
but no, it's not. Doesn't have to do anything with it.
No, that has to do with Bonnie and Clyde.
Right.
So in 1977, after Fox had learned who her former lover really was, she did publish a book about him, Killing Time, which was later re-released as Natural Born Killer. Barbara Tucker / Beverly Maybe. Maybe. After his fling with Sandy Fox, Knowles stayed in Florida, giving a woman a ride and holding her at gunpoint. She managed to escape. He abandoned the car he'd been in and then arrived at West Palm Beach home of Beverly Maybe and her sister, Barbara Tucker. Barbara's son was also in the house at the time. Beverly was the only sister home at the time, and Knowles attempted to gain entry inside by posing as an IRS agent named Bob Williams. Beverly didn't believe him, so he forced his way in, where he tied up both her and Barbara's son. Beverly has cerebral palsy and has trouble doing some things on her own. When Barbara got home from work, she found her sister, as well as her son, who was still young enough to be in school, tied up. Knowles kidnapped Barbara and drove her in her own car over 60 miles north to Fort Pierce. They checked into a hotel and, at Knowles' insistence, posed as a married couple. Knowles left her in the hotel room and she managed to get free. Back in West Palm Beach, Beverly and her nephew also escaped their ties, and the latter went to the neighbor's house, who contacted police. An alert was put out in the area for an armed and dangerous kidnapper. By this point, police were already on Knowles' trail, having tracked the stolen credit card through 37 states. When they interviewed Barbara Tucker, she was able to identify Knowles through photographs. Police were also able to locate Sandy Fox, who of course was shocked to find out who her former fling really was. She turned Mandy Carr's stolen watch over to police. But police still couldn't find Knowles. At first, they thought he may be hiding in Jacksonville with family or friends. Then on November 16, Florida State Trooper Charles Campbell recognized Barbara and Beverly's stolen Volkswagen in Perry, Florida, and pulled Knowles over. So this is Chief Wiggum here, Charles Campbell.
Mm-hmm. Chief Wiggum.
Knowles somehow managed to overpower and kidnap Campbell and took both him and a businessman named James Meyer hostage. From there, he drove north towards Georgia. The next day, Knowles ran a roadblock in Stockbridge, Georgia. The car was wrecked when he drove it into a tree. See, this is very important information that they left out.
Yeah.
To a tree. From there, he set off on foot, making his way into the nearby woods. None of this went unnoticed, of course, and Knowles was wounded in police pursuit of him, but managed to get away. His hostages were not with him at the time, but some item belongings to them were found in a car he'd wrecked. After this, a team of 200 men, along with dogs and helicopters, set out to look for him. Knowles initially took refuge in an abandoned farmhouse when he found a shotgun and a few shells. But he couldn't stay long. He made his way out and tried to take another hostage, a hunter, David Clark. But Knowles' new shotgun didn't work, and Clark was able to use his own gun to keep Knowles from escaping until police arrived.
Click, click.
Yep. Knowles was arrested that day and taken to Macon. That's Macon, Georgia.
That rhymes.
Yeah, Macon, Georgia.
Taken to
Yeah.
Macon.
He was eventually charged with 7 counts of murder, though he was suspected in at least 12. Okay, so John Knowles had been on the run for 5 months. He drove over 20,000 miles through 25 states, so with victims in Georgia, Florida, Texas, Connecticut, and Nevada. And Knowles wasn't exactly cooperative or warm after his arrests, said James D. Josie, who handled the Georgia investigation.
Who is gonna
Knowles
be
had the
warm?
coldest eyes. I mean, quote, Knowles had the coldest eyes. He could see right through you. He had no qualms about killing, end quote. After Knowles was arrested, he gave something to his lawyer that isn't often involved in these cases: tapes. These tapes, often referred to as his quote-unquote kill tapes, had been recorded by Knowles throughout his spree and detailed his confession of killing 16 people. It reminds me a little bit of the movie The Poughkeepsie Tapes, except I'm pretty sure these were just audio recordings and not videos. Oh, I gotta look that up. What are the Poughkeepsie?
Yeah, I checked it out. It's a movie, but it's not real.
Knowles' lawyer, Sheldon Yavitz, claimed he didn't listen to the tapes and had no idea what was on them. Police hoped there was something on the tapes that could help them find the missing hostages. Yavitz initially refused to hand over the tapes, citing attorney-client privilege. He was jailed for contempt of court, and for some reason, I'm not 100% sure, of his wife was jailed as well. This is a person. I gotta be careful when I read this. So apparently, the lawyer was jailed, right, in contempt of the court, and for some reason, his wife was also jailed. They don't know if she was helping him or if it was something else. Police eventually were able to get their hands on the tapes, though they were later destroyed in a flood.
Wow, what a coincidence.
Convenient enough.
So Knowles also refused to tell police what had happened to his hostages, seeming to enjoy the attention of media members that had gathered outside the police station. At first, investigators thought Campbell and Meyer would still be alive somewhere, but on November 21st, their bodies were found in the woods by a hunter. They both had been handcuffed to a tree and shot in the head, and had been dead since pretty soon after being taken hostage. Okay. Oh, so this is actually what they were talking about in the beginning.
Right.
Okay, so this is the beginning. Yeah. Oh, okay. Now I get it. All right. So on December 18, Knowles was scheduled to be transferred to a higher security prison, but first he promised to show police where he buried Charles Campbell's gun. He was driven out to the area he claimed it was in, understandably in handcuffs. On the way, he managed to get his handcuffs off with a paper clip and took the sheriff's gun. The car was wrecked in the struggle, but Paul John Knowles was ultimately shot and killed by GBI agent Ron Angel. All right, that's enough of that. See, this article has a lot more information because it gives you an insight. There was abuse. The fact that they say that if this would have been today, the kids would have been taken away, him and all his siblings, that says a lot.
A lot.
And that's a very important piece of information. So, yeah, this has been the John Knowles story, right? AKA the Casanova. What is it? The Casanova Killer?
Casanova Killer.
The
Yeah,
Linding.
that's such a corny name, the Casanova Killer.
Oh, what other one can you give him?
I don't know.
Can you give him another one?
The narcissist killer.
I will call him the Sloppy Joe. Motherfucker was sloppy.
The
as
handsome
fuck.
sloppy Joe.
Like this guy. Wow, what a gem.
Douche.
Total.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. When you see cases like this, and like children end up dying, and all these women,
and old people.
I'm wondering if he was gay, right? Like, think about it. Like the fact that he would capture these men, and no, not frustration. It's just the fact that he took the time to undress these men. In the other article, it doesn't specify, but it does say that some of the victims were raped. And some were, they
don't say which ones.
But that's what I'm saying. They imply that some victims might have been like raped or molested after death. I don't know. Like,
I don't think so. Usually when that happens, they go juicy with the details and they go and explicitly say it.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But still, why would he take the time to undress the guys? Because they don't say the girls were undressed. No, they just say the guys. Was he, sexually frustrated in that turn? Did he have an attraction towards men?
Just for the heck of it.
But just the fact that he takes the other guy that he took and he stabbed 27 times. Usually they say that those are like crimes of passion because it's up close and angry. I don't know. I'm not an investigator. This is what I hear in movies. What I hear in movies.
Been watching a lot of CSI.
Yeah,
Law and Order.
Yeah, like usually you hear about that when it's like up close and personal.
Mm-hmm.
It's crimes of passion, and they're pissed, like they're angry at the person.
Yeah, because nobody cared for him.
I don't know, man.
They loved him, but they didn't care for him. It's a weird
case. I still feel like it was a weird case. Very gruesome, but I don't know, it's kind of like unsatisfying. I don't know about you guys, but even though I'm glad we read this other information from maryhallbergmedia.com. Also, let me write this down. Wait.
Feels like when you watch one of those movies and you go like expecting a why at the end and they never give it to you and you go like,
yeah, it's the fact that he was just totally killed
like
at the end, and that's it. There was no justice. Well, sort of justice.
Oh, he was killed, but it's just you still don't know like where are all these people that are missing. It's like you don't get that closure.
Well, like I said, once you read a little bit further down, they show you a lot more victims.
Yeah, but these are possible victims. That's why I'm not reading it because
correct. But they explain how they connect. So anybody who wants to read it, just read on further on.
Yeah, I mean, in the show notes, I am gonna put a link to this article as well. It's just, I don't know. It's a weird case, this one. But yeah, for those of you who are listening and are watching on YouTube, if you know information that we did not discuss, please feel free to drop us in the comments. If you are listening to us on podcasts and you just want to search for us on social media and just send us a message, hey, I found this piece of information, or hey, I read this. Yeah, send us the link. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram. Oh, and now we have a TikTok. For the Grim Fix podcast. Yeah. I only use TikTok for like the filter, not even the filters, but the subtitles and shit like that. It's so easy to do there.
For all you Gen Zers out there.
Yeah, for all you Gen Zers and Gen Xers or whatever. So you can watch like little clips of the podcast that we'll be posting on these social media sites. I guess if you are watching us on YouTube, thank you first of all for listening to us thus far. If you are watching us on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. like the video, share it with your friends and your family. Tell the world how amazingly awesome we are.
How handsome.
Handsome we are.
Even if you're a dude, if you find us handsome, it's okay. It's okay to say it. These handsome
Nowadays,
young men here. So yeah, if you're listening to us on the podcast, on your favorite podcast platform, feel free to follow, subscribe. I think it's just follow, right?
Yeah.
On podcast,
Yeah.
you just follow it. Yeah, feel free to follow the podcast, drop us a review, share again with your friends and family. This is just us, right? Having these conversations about these grim contents. And we're so glad that you guys join us to do so also. And you can be part of the conversation by just dropping a comment. If you have a story that you want us to read and you want to be part of the show, as a matter of fact, I'm going to take it even further. If you have a story you want us to read, as a matter of fact, if you want to tell us a story yourself, we'll loop you into one of these calls. We'll bring you in and you can tell the story yourself. If it's interesting enough, so I want to hear about it first. Write it to me and just tell us, hey, I want to be a guest on the show. I want to tell my story. If you're willing to tell us the story and take these jokes and comments and dissecting of your story, then feel free. We're opening up the stage for you to step right up. So I think that's it for me for this episode. Till next week, please be safe. This is the Grim Fix Podcast. Peace.
Peace, everyone.
White Castle cheeseburgers.